Hello there. This is Mr. D coming to you with the Holy Chronicles of Genesis. This is chapter 26. And if you remember, we just finished chapter 25, which had to do with, go back to that page. Yes, sad as it is, Abraham dies, but the birth of Jacob and Esau occurs. And that is a wonderful thing in Isaac's family. So we go into chapter 26. And 26 goes like this. Now there was a famine in the land, besides the previous famine of Abraham's time, and Isaac went to Abimelek, king of Philistines, in Gerar. The Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land where tell you to live. Stay in the land for a while, and I will be with you, and I will bless you. For to you and your descendants I will give these lands. I will confirm the oath I swore to your father Abraham." Now, it's pretty direct because I remember Isaac is Abraham's son. So it's not very far. I will make your descendants the numerous as the stars in the sky, and it will give them all these. My glasses, I'm sorry. Will give all of these lands through your offsprings. All nations on earth will be blessed because Abraham obeyed me and did everything I required of him, keeping my commands, my decrees, and my instructions. So Isaac stayed in Gerar. That was the end of verse 6. Abraham, his history with God is pretty awesome. His faith is even more. When men of the place asked him about his wife, he said, "She is my sister," because he was afraid to say, "She is my wife." He thought the men of the place might kill me on the account of Rebecca, because she's supposed to be very beautiful, you know. God gave Isaac a very beautiful wife because she was beautiful. And it even says right here in the Bible, yeah. So we go down to the next verse. When Isaac had been there a long time, Abimelek, the king of Philistine, looked down from the window and saw Isaac caressing his wife, Rebecca. So, because you remember, Abraham's had some dealing with this same king. So Abimelek summoned Isaac and said, "She's really your wife. Why did you say she's my sister?" Isaac answered him, "Because I thought you might lose my life on account of her." Then Abimelek said, "What is it this you have done to us? One of the men might well have slept with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." So Abimelek gave orders to all his people: "Anyone who harms the man of his wife still surely be put to death." Isaac planted crops in the land, and the same year requested or reaped hundredfold, because the Lord blessed him. The man became rich, and his wealth continued to grow until he became very wealthy. He had so many flocks and herds and servants that the Philistines envied him. Who is this guy that comes into our land and takes over with all this stuff? This should be our stuff, you know? Why? Then Amalek said to Isaac, "Move away from us. You have become too powerful for us." So Isaac moved away from there and encamped in the valley of Gerar, where he settled. Isaac requested the wells that had been dug in the time of the father of Abraham which the Philistines had stopped up after Abraham died, and he gave them the same names his father had given them. Isaac's servants dug in the valley and discovered a well fresh of water there. But the herders of Gerar quarreled and those of Isaac and said, the water is ours. So he named the well Esek, because they disrupted with him. Then they dug another well, but they quarreled over that one also. So he named it Sitnah. Verse 22, he moved on from there and dug another well, and no one quarreled over it. He named it, looks like Rehoboth, saying, now the Lord has given us room, and we will flourish in this land. So he found a place to settle down. No one quarreling with him. He has water for his animals. God is blessing him. Blessing him with the full power of his spirit, Okay. And we continue on. From there, he went up to Beersheba. That night, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will bless you, and I will increase the number of your descendants for the sake of my servant Abraham. Okay. Isaac built the altar there and called on the name of the Lord. There he pitched his tent, and there his servants dug a well. Meanwhile, Abimelek had come to him from Gerar with Ahasuerus, his personal advisor, and Philco, the commander of his forces. Isaac asked him, why have you come to me? Since you were hostile to me, you kicked him out and sent me away. They answered, we saw clearly that the Lord was with you. So we said, there ought to be a sworn agreement between us. He's kind of feeling a little nervous, I would too, picking on God's people, And I think a lot of people really wondered about that back then. What would happen to the Jews, the power of different things that the Holy Spirit was involved with. Back to again, verse 28. They answered, we saw clearly that the Lord was with you. So we said, there ought to be a sworn agreement between us and you. Let's make a treaty with you that you will do us no harm. Let's be nice. Just as we did not harm you, but also a treaty you will also treated you well and sent you away peacefully. And now you are blessed by the Lord. After kicks them out, and God does all this good stuff. They want a piece of the action. Well, you know what? I think all of us would have a piece of the action if we let God run our life, instead of thinking we can do it ourselves and then come falling back because we messed up. Isaac, verse 30, Isaac then made a feast for them, and they ate and drank, kind of like what Jesus wants us to do, to forgive our transgressors. Early the next morning, the men swore an oath to take for each other. Then Isaac sent them on their way, and they went away peacefully. That day, Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they had just dug. They said, we've found water. He called it Sheba. And to this day, the name has been Beersheba. The well Beersheba. Another story I think I got. You'd have to look down there and see what I got. in the Gospels. So, chapter 26 leaves us with Isaac and land now that he's going to live. Got water. Everything's looking great. And we're ready to go into chapter 27. Don't forget to mark the button. And may the Lord be with you. Mr. D. God bless.